I'm just working on finishing this painting in cold wax and oil. I want to repaint the background, and I'm mixing up a soft color here to use. So I've got my cold wax and oil mixed here with 50% wax to 50% oil paint. And I found that was just a little too bright. I'm adding some more white. I am working with a brush on this just because it's too hard to get a scraper in all these small spaces. If the paint is too thick, you can add a little bit of Galca gel while you're using a brush, or you could reduce the amount of wax you have in your paint is another thing you could do. So I'm just brightening up and lightening the background here. That's going to make the figures pop forward more. So it seems like I have a large amount of unfinished paintings that have piled up on me from doing various demos and workshops and not getting them finished. So I'm really trying hard now to finish up a bunch of these pieces. This one is 12 by 12 inches, and it's done on a cradled panel. When I'm working in cold wax and oil particular, I like to tape the edges and put paper on the back. It's so easy to get the paint on the back because it gets on your gloves, and then if you pick up your panel and move it and your fingers go around the back, inevitably you end up with paint. And that's a little bit messy, especially if you're wanting to sell your work or send it off to a gallery. So the only way to correct it if you do get it dirty is to prime it with an oil primer like Zinsser 123, something that's going to seal it, and then you could paint the whole back. But that's a lot of extra work if you can prevent it. So taking the time to prepare your panels up front is a good idea. I also gesso the birch panel. Before I gesso it, I actually coat it with a sealer. And again, you can use an artist sealer like GAC 100, or I use Zinsser primer for that as well because it acts the same. It makes it prevents it from the acids from the wood to come through. So that's important to seal it and then gesso it. The bright white surface is going to help your colors really sing. So I like to put 2 or 3 coats of gesso on and sand in between so I have a nice smooth surface to start with. Just mixing up a bit of a darker flesh tone here. So when you add black to a color, you're making a tone. I'm painting one side of the head as if it's the shadow side. This is going to give your faces a little more dimension, and I'm coming in with a skewer here just to scratch in a little bit of detail where the eyes would be. So just continuing on, bringing some color onto the faces. using a bamboo skewer just to kind of clean up the edge a little bit, and I like scratching in around as well, just giving it a little more definition. Okay, lightening up the color on the other side. So I'm going to come back in and put some headdresses on. Now, if you don't get these right, it's easy enough to correct them with negative painting going back in around them. The direction you put the headdress on can really indicate which way the head is facing. So if you want it to face totally forward, you want that to be symmetrical on both sides. But if you want it looking away, you can put a different tilt on it, and you can see that some of my faces in this do appear to be looking sideways. Adding a little bit of that color in places on the other headdresses just to connect them together so that they're feeling more cohesive. Using a bamboo skewer again, just doing a little bit of scratching in around the paint and just giving it a little bit of line work. Something that I enjoy about the cold wax and oil is the benefit of being able to scratch back into the paint for quite some time as you're working. You can also clean up some edges this way by pulling off some excess paint. So I'm coming in around here, just cleaning it up a little bit. I haven't done too many figures with cold wax and oil paint. I tend mostly to either paint non-objective abstract or landscape with it for some reason, but I'm definitely wanting to do more figures with the cold wax and oils, so you can look forward to that. If you're enjoying my videos and want to support me in making more, I have a Buy Me a Coffee account that you can leave a tip for me, and that any little bit is appreciated. It goes towards buying more art supplies, equipment for doing these videos. It just helps a lot. Also, by leaving a comment or a question, liking the video, sharing it with friends, all of those things help my channel as well. I'm coming back in here with a scraper, just finessing this dress a little bit. Another thing I want to mention is that I am opening a membership site coming up here in the fall, and if you want to learn more from me and be in a community of like-minded artists, I have a wait list that you can put your name down on, and I'd love to have you join the group. So this painting's getting pretty close to being finished. It's coming in here, smoothing this dress down a little bit. So I had some collage on this to begin with, and it was a little spiral symbol, but it's a little bit too defined, it seems. So I tried to push it back with some white paint, but I didn't really like how that looked either. So I'm not going to labor this one too much more now. I'm going to set it aside and see if there's any adjustments to be made. So I'm going to show you some detail close-up video next so that you can see some of the details and the collage pieces underneath. Some of the scratching back I've done. The Semitic writing in the piece, that spiral symbol, which was collage underneath. So this started out playful and finished with being figures. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.